Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring the June 24, 2025 Greater Clark County School Board of Trustee meeting to order. Ms. Markowski, Brian Jones is tardy. We don't even know where he is. And probably won't be here. So anyway, if y'all please stand with me to say the pledge.
It's Donner's Pigs.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The first item we have would be the approval of the agenda as presented. Board, I'd move that we would approve that. Do I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman. Any questions or comments regarding that? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed and abstaining. Next item would be public comments. I don't believe we have any. And public goal strategies. How are you?
Great, Mr. President. Good evening, board. We're nearing the end of our fiscal year. We're on a good track. Tonight I'm presenting you May's numbers. So next month at the second meeting in July, I'll do the big June numbers. And those are important because that's what sets us in the budget season. And it's an 18-month look period. So how much I'm going to do for the rest of the year. And then we budget for 26. So this is an important time. You did get in your email the schedule for the budget process. So you know when we're going to be talking about, so you can prepare yourselves for those fun budget presentations. So tonight, for May 25, and we're going to compare to 24 because this becomes important, even more so now, because how we've changed operations fund, got the textbook rental coming in, which is not part of any money for anything except for curricular material. So a year from now, you will no longer see that everywhere, you know. I do separate it out on your detailed fund report, the treasurer's report, so you can always see where we're at in there. We will be doing a pretty hefty adoption this year, but we do get reimbursed from the state, and that comes in our formula, and I wish I could tell you what that would look like, but the state can't even tell me what that looks like, how I'm going to see that in that formula, and how I'm going to be able to report that separately and track that separately for us. We ended May with an ending balance of $20,136,000. In May of last year, $19,011,000. Now both of those numbers contain the textbook rental. Operations fund. We are ending May in the negative of $1.1 million. As I explain every time, we get our June distribution and our December distribution, but lo and behold, our negative status is much less than what it was in 24. That shows that we're getting pretty more to the level of zero because your cash balance is helping to carry us through. Your debt service has a $5.3 million cash balance. Last year it was 4.1. This is what we use to adjust those tax rate to get as close to $1.10, and I will revisit this here in a second. And your rainy day fund still remains at $12 million. After the meeting I had today with the joint legislation, which is superintendents, school boards, and school business officials with the legislators, we will make sure that we pay attention to this rainy day fund and try to preserve as much as we can, because when we get to 28, 29, and 30, all schools in the state of Indiana are going to be extremely impacted by credits on property taxes and the elimination of taxes that we do get inside the operations fund. So we are prepared. The plan, our 5-year plan, financial plan, all of our plans that's constantly rolling and updated every year will get you through this. Now, hopefully there'll be some consideration and changes, because not only does it impact, Senate Bill 1 impact schools the hardest, it does impact your city services as well. So I suspect that since we've beat the drum for the past 12 years to 15 years with these kind of impacts, there are going to be some new soldiers drumming to get some changes when services start falling off. A little concerned about a couple of the ideas that they think they're coming down down the pike. Hopefully we can divert from that and get back to where we were running school again. Very responsible. I wish they would have came down here and learned how to do it. That would have been fantastic. The $1.10, what you're going to be getting prepared for is how a budget is going to be conducted from this point forward. It's about levy. Levy is the request for tax. And that's what's going to guide you now. Our assessed value is projected to go up, so we're going to stay in a range there. So they can't even tell me how to get that information into the system yet, so we can go through that. But by the time I present for the 26 budget, they for sure will have that, because there are certain things due throughout this process. So if there's any questions, let me know, and I will be happy to answer those this evening.
Board, are we good? Good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. In the moment we've all been waiting for. Perfectionist group. Kind of a little jazz band going in the back.
Chris, let me introduce
You want to go ahead and do it now? Okay. Perfect.
We're going to turn this show over to Chris here, but before we get started, I think I'd like to really make two introductions here real quick. You know Nick and Andrew Afro. Wave your hands, boys. But we have, of course, you know Chris. This is going to be what we're only going to show you 3 slides tonight, too, so that's pretty good. I'd like to introduce Alex Hunt. Alex is an old farm boy from Taylor County, Kentucky, Campbellsville, Kentucky. Graduated from the University of Kentucky, and he spent 12 years in the Fayette County School District, Lexington, Kentucky, in leadership and teaching positions there. He is our general liaison between the construction that's going on here at Greater Clark and all the projects we're doing. So he works hand in hand with your design teams, your engineering teams, and all the trades on site. So if you have any questions specific about the construction, he's a gentleman. We're very proud to have him to make the switch from the schools into our business. That's Alex Hunt. Thank you. The second person here is Christopher Kenny. Back on May the 7th of this year, I happened to be in Rome, and we got to saw the black smoke. Chris is quite pleased because the new Pope is a Villanova graduate. And he is a mechanical engineer from the University of Villanova University. So he joined this group here about a month or so ago. Chris has 25 years experience in the business. He is a mechanical engineer, and he's designed with assisting not only Alex on some of the projects, but implementing and he'll talk a little bit about this in the presentation. I'm not going to steal any of his thunder here. So that's Chris Kenny, and he's dedicated to Greater Clark from us right now. His last name is Kenny, and 2 of these gentlemen here actually call me Dad. Chris calls me Uncle. His mom is my older sister.
There you go.
We try to keep things moving in the right direction with family and making sure that our family ideals match your ideals. Chris, back to you.
Well, thank you. Thank you all for having us. We will make it short. 3 quick slides. And just speaking of family, too, I have my son here tonight, who actually joined us as an HVAC tech September 30th of last year. So he's in his first year of learning it, and but yeah, he works for us now out in the Louisville field. So he's not with Greater Clark, but he is with Perfection on the service side. Okay.
He lives here.
Yes, he lives in Louisville. Yes.
Lives in Greater
Most
Clark.
importantly, he is getting his own place on August 7th. I don't know who's more excited. No, I'm just kidding. I will be. So, Renee, do you have, I guess that, you got to do that second slide. So it's been a while since we give an update. We usually give one, once a year, and then on key projects. This is just a review of what we've done since we've been here. If you remember, 4 years ago when we came in, we started and what kind of want to hone in on today is our partnership. To where we started off as custodial landscaping and HVAC, but now the gambit of what we do encompasses way beyond those 4 things. We've seen those grow over the years. Just today, I did all of the new contracts for the for Rumpke and adding the new schools. We're doing the elevator contracts and helping them on, so it's not just things under perfection. We're also working and helping the school manage all that process, but even though it's not through us that we're managing it. So we really feel this is a great partnership, and I want to thank you all for, allowing this to happen and, over the years and let us grow. And we're in a great place right now. If you see some of the metrics on that first page, I'll let you go through it, but some of the key things are, over 25,000 work tickets since we've started. So that's just maintenance. That does nothing with custodial or anything. It's general maintenance and HVAC tickets. So over 25,000.
How's that compare to last year? Pretty similar? Do you remember?
A lot of the upkeep tickets, we're seeing different tickets now. We've had but we're looking at move tickets, we're painting tickets. HVAC tickets, I want to say, have declined absolutely since the first, because we've done, a lot of projects over the years, which you'll see here in a little bit. Roofing goes down. We've done, I won't go over that yet. Andrew will go over all of that as far as where
What
we're
would
at
your
with
estimate be that now that we're tearing 4 old school buildings down, or at least 3 right now? How much will that number go down?
That will, I would say overall, would go down considerably. The majority of our tickets were in those 4 schools, especially on the HVAC side, some of those schools that we've kept limping along because we knew this day was coming.
Yeah.
The good news is, yes, now if you've noticed, both JJ, and Nate, can attest to this. JJ and Wilson are about both halfway down, I would say. So they're going down. We've moved everything. All the movers have moved everything out as of today at about 3 o'clock. Have everything out of the old schools and into the new schools. All the teachers' gears, all their boxes, everything. We've just got a little bit of gym equipment while we're waiting for the floor to dry at Pike. And then we'll take the gym equipment over and all the moves will be complete. We're even moving our custodials in. I know we talked July 7th is when we'll move our new custodial staff in there from the old schools to start really getting in and cleaning and getting it ready for that July 15th groundbreaking, or opening anyhow, sorry.
Good.
But yeah, no, to answer your question, Mark, I absolutely see those numbers going down. Every year I think we see them go down, just from, all the new stuff we're putting in. And, with those 4 buildings going away, we'll see a considerable drop. And then I know, not only a considerable drop, but, that just the cost that it takes to maintain, those systems and the refrigerant and everything. Now we've got, all new state-of-the-art, more efficient equipment. So we're going to be, looking at that. Those are things Andrew and his team can talk about too. The new equipment that's going to these schools are, we're trying to do all the same equipment too. So parts are cheaper because we have, the same type of systems going in these schools. So it'll help us out overall, manage the system all better. On the second page, I don't know if you want to.
Can I ask you real quick?
Sir.
In regards to our custodial services, do we still have the same amount of staff in the summer that we have in the school year? And if so, what are they doing?
Okay. The same amount of staff, yes and no. So yes, we have the number doesn't go down, but most of your people take vacations. So we don't see as many people in the schools, but we have a project list that we create every year. For what both maintenance staff and the custodials will do. Besides our normal day-to-day cleaning, we have a whole list for each school of the top, parts of each location that they'll do a project, whether it's high window cleaning or if they'll, we're taking all the wax off on most of your wax floors and taking it all the way down to the base in several places. We're doing. We'll look at power washing. I'm trying to think of some of the other big projects. Power washing.
You can email it to me. I know it varies from school to school.
Absolutely. So what we do is we evaluate each school. We'll talk to the principals. We'll usually get a painting list. We'll get some specific things that they'd like to see. We'll put a list together along with our district painter, Dave Caffrey, who helps us out with the larger projects. He's redoing River Valley this summer. Did a lot of the new cafeteria that's coming over at Jeff High this summer.
Cool.
But yeah, so we are actually all but just a few people short right now as far as positions filled. We have 2 at Jeff High, and then 1 we're moving over to Parkwood, so that's going to create a position at River Valley, and then there's 1 at Utica right now. And that's our open positions that we have. So we're doing a lot better, which is one of the things I was going to talk about on custodial improvements on the next page.
All right.
Some of the training we're doing, the development, our retention rates are quite a bit higher than where we were in the beginning. I mean, I think the whole world has changed, since when we were in COVID, and the payment rates, and we've, been able to work with you all to get our rates up. We're at $15 an hour for a starting position right now. So it's able to retain people along with the training, and just the atmosphere, the culture. We've worked really hard. I think both, Laura in the district and us together have worked to change the culture in this district and it's made a very noticeable difference. Some of the other things, HVAC improvements, we just hired a new maintenance tech. And in the past, just 3 months that he's been here, he came in with several years of school experience. We actually hired him from a neighboring school district, one about the same size as us. So, and he has came in with a lot of ideas, a lot of things, a lot of contacts he got off the ground running and doing training on our team and everything. So he was a great hire. So we foresee a lot of good things coming with him. And then as far as our contractors and the improvements by personnel, we've looked by adding people like Chris Kenny and Alex to the team who are what they do for us and what they do for the team and all the different sides. This is one of the only accounts that we have that really every division of the company, everybody that all 4 divisions of the company touch Greater Clark on a daily basis. We have both mechanical, we have green, we have service, and we have THS all in here tonight between this group of people, and they all touch them every single day. Some of the things that Tony didn't want to bust the bubble on, but Chris Kenny, if you want to come up, we have some new exciting news that we've worked with Nate on and worked with Laura on getting to the district, but it's a new program that really is going to help us out. Yeah.
Cool. I appreciate it. Like Tony mentioned, I've joined our team here at Greater Clark, or joined your team here at Greater Clark about a month ago, and enjoyed meeting the folks. I know I met some of you over the last few weeks.
You haven't bought lunch or anything yet?
I haven't.
Dude, did you not tell them? Oh my goodness.
I'm slow. I still make Andrew and Nick buy my lunch. So.
Yeah. You're shrewd. I like that. Welcome to Greater Clark.
It's all about efficiency, right? So
Yep.
yeah. But no, as Tony mentioned, I'll follow a little bit short thing with him. But as you probably know, I don't know how much you know about Villanova, but we're a small university. Not too many Villanovans in this general area. But I know a lot of people in this general area are college basketball fans. Well, we've had quite a run over the last 10 years with a couple national championships, and I've not been shy about it to all the people around here. And I sent a note on to that May 7th white smoke coming out of the Vatican and said, if you thought I was insufferable after a couple national championships, way to get a little me with the Pope. Yeah. So, yeah.
Always a good connection.
Yeah, exactly.
I did say there's probably some powers I have. I'm not sure yet.
Yeah.
So what the team brought me onto this Greater team is to help onboard this FMX software that Greater Clark is going for, or has started implementing. I won't go into a big commercial on what that is, but it is a robust facility management software that will help run the schools more efficiently. As you can imagine, onboarding that though, it's quite a task. So we are managing that to onboard that as efficiently and robustly as possible while maintaining the end game, right? So we'll be mapping each school systematically through it. We started this summer, and we're gradually getting through. We've got a team that's mapping on everything, essentially all your assets in each school. And the end game, you'll have a nice software that you could, it'll enhance the work order efficiency. It'll enhance the knowledge of the schools, and everyone that does work with the schools. That it'll help us all work better and ultimately optimize the mission of the district, right? So we're excited. I'm excited to be part of the team. As Tony mentioned, I joined Perfection 3 years ago after a long career doing total facility solutions and energy management all over the country. So I've known Laura and Nate and team just because we have a great partnership with you all. but I'm really excited to join you on a more robust nature. So you'll see me walking around. I'm happy to jump in any meeting you guys want and answer any questions as we move forward. But like you said, looking forward to working with y'all.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
I did want to say one thing about that software that it's going to do. Chris wasn't here in the beginning when we were on, New Year's Eve going through, crawling in the basements, trying to figure out where we didn't, trying to get all this information together to put what this contract will do is allow us to never be in that position again. When I say us, Greater Clark, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, the future generation that's going to be sitting here will have all the information at their fingertips. So they'll know where every shutoff valve is, every electrical box, what breaker goes to which box, which exhaust fan goes to this room, and it'll all be listed at the click of a button. And that's what Chris and his team are doing now, is setting it up for the future of Greater Clark, not just, for our work order system. So that's going to be a big asset to us.
Yeah, I've never quite understood the term future-proof because that sounds kind of silly, but this is a software that will help future-proof the district as far as just being able to work orders and understand everything you have. So it's nice.
Because this will house all floor plans, blueprints,
Yeah, we're
drawings.
uploading floor plans, safety and vac and fire and all sorts of stuff and mapping, physically mapping on it, like visually mapping where all your assets are.
That'd be nice, because 6 years ago, we had to dig through the auxiliary services building to try to find blueprints on different schools.
So it'll be able to tell you when things were maintained and tell you who maintained them and.
It allows more for data-driven decisions, to know exactly where we're at, where we're having our problems at. And it also builds the infrastructure for us to pass this information down to those that follow. Because as we walked into the district, especially as I've walked into the district, we've had very little digitized in the auxiliary services buildings no longer. So it's been a challenge trying to recreate what we have currently. But this will be able to pass that information down to the generations that follow.
Cool.
Efficiently.
And there is a lot of information out there. But a pleasure meeting you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Andrew, if you want to, we've got or Alex, or either one, both of you want to come up, just a few updates now.
Slides in my entire life.
What, I'm sorry?
We have 5 more.
Yeah,
Oh my, you said there were 3 slides.
They lied.
There's 4.
4 slides.
5 if you
No,
count the
do you want to
covers.
hit on anything in the district right now?
I mean, we don't know the Pope, so we're not.
Yeah, this is.
You're right, that's true, that's true.
We're gonna be fast. It's almost summertime.
Yeah. We can move on to the next slide. We'll touch on
I'm
it.
just kidding, I'm just kidding you guys.
I know.
I'm not paying attention anyway.
Oh, no, it's fine, it's
That's
fine.
hilarious.
No, I know it's fine. We're gonna be short and sweet.
Chelsea's taking notes for me.
So as a lot of y'all remember, the 5-year plan and the task force that was put together when all this started, before all the construction, all the new schools, all the renovation work, that was back in 2021-ish. A lot's gone on since then. Part of the efforts from this board and team in here, it's a lot of that focus has been on how do we make our schools healthier, more efficient, cleaner, and more modern, really. If you look here, we have 3 kind of slides, really broke down. It's color coded. Green means good, yellow means we're getting there, red means we haven't touched it. But HVAC, roofing, paving were 3 of the priorities that were set forth during that task force long process. And then also we looked at what schools do we want to invest in, what schools do we need to think about replacing. We already know what's happening with that. But you can see here a lot of progress has been made on all these categories. HVAC particularly, that's a very important asset, one, for the health and the comfort of the school. I mean, that's why we're here, is to educate. So that has been a significant improvement. So a lot of green. Some of the yellow you'll see there, those are the big schools. Jeff High is massive, Charleston High is massive, River Valley's huge, CMS is big. So we're slowly tackling those as we go. A lot of the green too on the mechanical side was done during the 2021 ESSER project. Everybody knows what happened with COVID. Utica, New Wash, Parkview, North Haven were massive renovations to get those assets more modern because they were 40 years old in those schools. So a lot of work done on that. That project is fully complete. The bond project that followed it, which focused on a lot of work at Utica Elementary, which was ironically one of the newer schools,
is complete. If you see the bottom there too, quickly, mechanical controls. How do we control the assets in the buildings to ensure that the classroom is at the right temperature, at the right CO2? We've been doing a massive conversion from a proprietary system to a more open protocol system. We're almost there. Like I said, that 30% left, roughly, is in the big schools, the Jeff High and then Charlestown High. Roofing, another big important factor. As we did the task force, we did the facility assessments, that was a pretty pain point. A lot of square footage. You have over 3 million square foot of roof line here. We've renovated, replaced about 845,000, so a big step in the right direction. These are quality roofs, they're long warranty roofs. So a lot of that has been really addressed, and there's a lot more going on this summer. I'll let Alex hit on quickly. The items in red there are still under warranty. They're not leaking. We're not having a lot of problem spots, not a lot of calls, so in good shape. And then clearly you can see on the paving side, a lot of that has been addressed in the last 4 years as well. Right now, you can see some stuff being done here at the admin building. It's more of that maintenance items versus the major mill down, replace, big CapEx stuff. So incredible job, a lot of progress over the last 4.5 years. New schools coming on here soon, more being built. Exciting time, we're glad to be a part of it. I'll let Alex touch on a few things. If you want to touch on kind of everything, what's going on this summer and then what's going on with the new school.
I'm going to be super quick. Speaking of roofing, we'll just make that the segue. We've got a roof going on a new wash auditorium. We took the entire deck off, our entire new roofing system over that. That whole system is going to be very, very nice for you guys. Longevity-wise, you won't have any problems out of it. We've got Jeff High, Area B. That's going on right now, concurrently with the natatorium, which I'll touch on in a second. Gosh.
CHS.
What am I missing?
CHS.
Yeah, Charlestown High School, we're doing the two upper roofs in the gyms there, the little horseshoe roof underneath it. That's getting an entire new roof, all new mechanical systems, air handlers. That entire gym is getting an overhaul. I'm drawing a blank.
So that's adding.
Well, I'm doing summer stuff, not new construction.
Yeah, we're getting.
Yeah, we're adding. Yeah, and that's what I was saying. Adding HVAC to the Ox Gym, and then new construction wise, Charlestown Elementary, we're done there. The roof is completely done, so the wall panels are completely done at Charlestown. It's ready to move forward. Pike Elementary, we're 95% done with wall panels there, 100% done with the roof there. Parkwood Elementary, completely done with the roof. Mechanically, we are done at Charlestown and Pike. Parkwood, we're probably 80% done. The natatorium, we're starting that on Monday. The roof will go on Monday. And we're looking at hopefully getting that dried in, I'm gonna say before end of August. And then as soon as that's dried in, your mechanical systems will go in. So you're gonna start seeing some really solid progress at the natatorium. River Ridge Middle, obviously, everybody's driven by that. Just doing some excavation work right now, but that'll be a smooth project too. If y'all have any questions, I'm an open book. Just feel free to pull me aside and I'll show you some pictures. I don't want to waste anybody's time right now.
We got all night.
Alex on his own right now, let me just say, Alex on his own is managing all of this in conjunction with each CM and without a CM, right? So our summer projects are without construction manager, he is the construction manager. So, and with all of the things that we do, in addition on an annual basis, such as our assessments that go on, you saw those 3 big lists. HVAC, every year in our bond we do a budget for our HVAC. Chris has been working on scheduling those priorities. In addition to that, all the other things Chris is doing, Chris Gunther, Mr. Gunther, doing inside the district, arranging the movements, arranging our garbage contracts, anything that's needed to be added on for when we're adding in new schools and removing old schools from the schedule. Well, this is, I know, they are supermen. I love them for that. But this is why we had to go to Tony and say, Tony, we got to have someone who can offset some of this. That, because it is a lot. It is a lot. We know it. And so that's why Chris Kenny now is very essential to the whole operation, because each one kind of shakes hands with each other. These two right here give each other updates all the time, and so, you know, the auditorium is going to be a huge project. It's not just a little building, you know, so, but lucky for us, we started with some big buildings, and Alex has got that in a snap. So that's why these things are coming through with what we, and our expectations as a district. We've gotten a taste of what is good, what is good. So now we have that benchmark. They're the ones that set that benchmark, man. And so now we have that expectation. And it is their natural benchmark. It's nothing that they're going to be able to do. I just want to kind of say that. Thank you.
And I guess what differentiates me is Chris is the smart one. He handles like the mechanical systems. I just like stack bricks. I'm more building the envelope. So that's why if you ever have any like really tough questions about mechanical systems, he's the guy. If you want to keep your building dry, I'm your guy.
Thank you.
There's only one more thing that I want to say. One thing that you won't see, that you'll probably never hear or see, is right now, currently, we had our first meeting yesterday. Rates are changing for Duke, your gas companies, your electric companies. We're seeing rebates that are changing. We have a team of engineers that started meeting again yesterday to work with those, to work with your peak demand rates, to work lowering your rates, to negotiate the contract, so we're saving money on all utilities as well. So it's something that's, you know, they're sitting back at their desk working with these people behind the scenes to keep all of that negotiated lower. So that's, we should see some big changes here coming up with, as they're raising their rates, you know, we're negotiating on, you know, that's, as he mentioned, the controls, that's how we do everything, is to be able to manage those to run more efficiently so we can get better rates. So, yeah, and if you haven't noticed the heat, yeah, we've been on a heat index watch for 2 or 3 days now. So we haven't had it yet, but we've been on a watch. But are there any other questions, or Tony or anybody else want to say anything?
One thing on those utilities, today also at that joint legislative meeting, they had 7 experts at the table. They are CFOs throughout the state of Indiana, and their largest concerns is utilities, and I said, because it's not mine. Because of this, because I knew that this was going on, and I know that they'll find avenues to get us more rebates in that world. So they should be worried about the property tax collection. I'm just saying.
There we go.
Well, that was right at 10 minutes.
Well, yeah.
Thank you all.
Well, Alex and Chris, welcome. Thank you very much.
You know, John, we've come a long way since I remember the walkthrough, and our big issue at that time was our air conditioner filters. Our filters had not been changed for 2 or 3 years, and you couldn't even see through them, and we've come quite a ways.
Yeah, and
50,000 filters have been changed to date.
Well, you know, some of them I think will probably never.
yeah, I saw photographs of some you could have probably used as footers for your shed out back. I mean, they were just, I mean, come on, let's be serious.
Put them together and you'd have a great warm quilt.
Yeah, but yeah, anyway, enough of that, but thank you all. Thank you, gentlemen, very much.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it. Next item would be consent agenda. Board, do I have a motion for that?
A motion, we approve the consent agenda.
And I'll
Thank you, Mr. Freeman.
second that.
Thank you, Ms. Perkins. Do we have any questions or comments about any of that? Hearing
Was
none?
I think this was the Student Rights and Responsibilities Handbook. There was just one sentence that was added, right?
Well, it was, we had to move some things around because of some
Okay.
legislative changes.
Yeah.
That aligns to our discipline in Power School.
Okay.
So it was very minimal, but it was because of the recent legislative changes. And there were biggest language pieces with the bullying policy.
Okay.
And so that was the main piece of it.
Okay. Just making sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Katie. Okay, that was only comment, so all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed and abstaining. All right, we'll move right along to the gifts to buildings. Katie, would you please?
Absolutely. Cheerleaders at Charleston Middle School have been busy raising money. We have Trevor Newmeyer, Anything's Possible Home Repair LLC. They're located there on Monroe Street. $700. Roof Links LLC, Steve Yount Insurance, and American Legion Post 335 have all given. We have paint on negative balance for New Washington Elementary School. I'm assuming that's their lunch balances, Mary Ellen Zimmerman. And then we have New Washington Middle High. 2 people have donated an instrument, looks like B-flat and trumpets to be exact, Bruce White and Kelly Smith, and a number of other activities and athletics for New Washington. I move that we accept these gifts to buildings in the amount of $6,333.70.
Thank you, Katie. Do I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Mustaine. Do we have any questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining. Headed to action items. The first item here would be the revision of the 25-26 school calendar.
Yes, good evening, board. As you know, those of you who've been with us, we've tried different programming and options for our graduations. And this year just really worked well. It allowed us to avoid any of our athletic competitions where we might have students involved and we never want them to make a choice. You know, do they attend a state championship or attend their graduation? So we have tried different things, but this year just went well. So we are changing the calendar next year to mimic exactly what we did this year. We've moved away from any Friday night ceremonies, and we'll continue next year with the 2 on Saturday, New Wash in the morning, Charlestown in the afternoon, and then Jeffersonville on Sunday. So those are the only changes that we wanted to go ahead and let families be aware so they can make plans for their graduate next year.
Makes sense to me. Board, do I have a motion for that approval?
I move we approve those dates.
Thank you, Ms. Hudson. Thank you, Ms. Perkins. Any questions or comments for Dr. Hartledge?
Yeah, I see that you changed the time for New Wash to 11 instead of 10. Good deal.
Yeah, we had a little bit too much time in
Yes.
between, so we thought that would work well.
Yep.
Idle
Thank you.
hands or devil's plaything.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor of the approval of the revision of 25-26 school calendar, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining. MOU for dual enrollment.
Yes, as you know, we're very proud of the dual credit opportunities that we allow our students. And this is a professor on loan from Ivy Tech to provide those services to our students when we are unable to get an approved instructor. This is for New Washington Middle High School, and we have a contract with Ivy Tech that would then invoice us for $584.64 per student for this purpose and be able to offer them the dual credit opportunities.
Board, I move we approve the MOU with IB Tech for the 25-26 school year. Do I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman.
I didn't say anything.
It was me.
Yeah.
Second.
He did. Okay, Kevin. Okay, Ms. Mustaine, thank you. Any questions or comments for Dr. Hartledge?
I saw that Ivy Tech, our Ivy Tech, escaped the cuts. We're not going to have any cuts at our campus, whereas all over the state, they were having to lay off people. But I talked to Chancellor Hare the other day, and he said, no, no cuts here.
That's good. They've been a great partner with us.
Yes.
Good deal. Okay, all those in favor of the MOU with IB Tech, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed and abstaining. Okay, 220 Youth Leadership Agreement.
Yes, 220 Youth Leadership allows us to provide some work-based learning for our students. It's a virtual platform. This aligns and supports the new graduation requirements. And oftentimes, those of you that have been a part of our academy meetings, and we try to optimize these opportunities for students, we run into challenges with transportation, also scheduling, because you know, some of our top athletes and top scholars who want to participate in these things also have a lot of academic type organizations, athletic commitments in the evening. So it's hard for them to find, there's not enough hours in the day for them to be able to do this. to receive these highest honors with the new requirements. So this program would allow us to do this. Also, we were fortunate enough to be offered a 50% discount on year one to lock into the pricing for a discounted pricing for 3 years.
Good deal.
So we're very excited about that. We think it's going to be a great tool to perpetuate this for our students.
Good deal. Board, do I have a motion for that?
I'm going to
3-year
approve this 3-year agreement with the two.
Thank you, Ms. Hutchins.
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Crump. Any questions or comments for Dr. Hartledge regarding this? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed and abstaining. Okay, okay, Ms. Huberger, imagine seeing you here.
Hi.
You have the floor.
Very excited after this presentation that you just heard about our partnership. Every year they do give this update. We are in a position here where we have to come before the board. We're asking for 2 additional custodians for the 2 new elementaries, additional supplies to cover that increased area. 1 FTE that would float within the district to cover any time where it's needed, vacation, sick, or when there's a position's not filled. We find that would be pretty helpful throughout the district. We're also asking for, and events too. Sometimes we can't get enough people to cover the sports events or whatever events that are going on in the schools. So that float would help with that. 1 FTE as a floor cleaning specialist. We are making a very prime investment in these schools, so we do want to keep them nice. Not just those, but we also are going to go throughout the district, and that will help our custodian staff to even do other cleanings, not just in the summer. I know that you had asked about that, John, and what those projects were. We're asking for an additional maintenance staff, but this is coming under perfection, not under the SMS, and some ads for new generators that we've gotten, and lawn care. As you know, we had a lot of snow, and so it took a toll on snow removal. Then that just keeps going. It takes a toll on your landscaping. So we definitely need to. We've not ever come to the board to ask for anything where that's at. To dispel a heart attack that I just gave myself, in my memo, I stated that this increases the monthly amount by $449,000. It is not. That's not true.
You gave me a little bit of a heart attack.
Yeah, I had one. Just here. I just saw. Yeah, no. It's only for all of these things that we are asking to increase staff to service us, because some of these are a request by Greater Clark. We definitely want that floor specialist. That came from us. All of this increases the contract by $49,883, with Perfection still giving us a guarantee to save $346,000 plus in our maintenance costs. So they're still doing that in that threshold. So I'm very proud of that. So it is my highest honor and recommendation to come to this board to request that you approve this amendment for the 5th-year contract of Greater Clark and Perfection Partnership Facilities Management.
The board, I'll move that we approve the amendment to the contract for facility management solution agreement between Perfections and Greater Clark County Schools. Could I please have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman.
See, I said it that time. So.
I know. Hey, I tell you what.
Was that Teresa?
Thanks, Katie. Any other questions or comments for Laura Schumacher? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed and abstaining. Okay, district property and casualty insurance, that's always a good one.
I got good news in this area. Although we're going to see a slight increase comparatively throughout the state of Indiana, this increase is considered minimal. With our size district, if you think of the level of buildings that we're building, and to insure those buildings, even in your own homes, if your homes increase in value, your insurance goes up for replacement value, just as ours does too. Well, if you remember, we went earlier this year and decided to change agents, and it clearly has paid off. With Marsh McLennan, they were able to come through and get insurance quotes that we will only see an increase of about $147,000. Some of that is attributed to something that we never had before, a little bit on our storage tanks, which is our fuel for transportation. They found those gaps in our policies. So some of these gaps have been filled in. Now I'm very confident in where we're insured at. They provide our builder's risk. I'm very, very pleased with the team that I work with there. We do have a really nice contact system with them whenever we do have any claims with us. Naturally, your buildings will go up. We have all of our bonds in there, everything, and so I believe that we are insured adequately with just a minimum increase. Where we was in, you can tell me how you want to look at it. You know, if we were insured inadequately before, in order to make us there, that could attribute to the raise. But I had kind of forewarned about what's going on with the weather, and we all pay for that in the whole United States. So, so it is my recommendation, and a really good recommendation I'm pleased to come to the board with, is to respectfully approve the insurance coverage at the rates that are presented in your packets.
Thank you. Board, do I have a motion for that approval?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Ms. Mustang. Do I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Perkins. Any questions or comments regarding this insurance? Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, now's the time we always makes us sad.
I'm so sad right now.
Board comments, we'll move right along.
I have nothing. Nothing.
Are you sure?
Nothing.
Oh, God.
Uh-oh.
If I don't have you.
No, you're killing everyone. I mean, literally. I'm kidding. Don't hate me.
I have nothing as well, and I'm not going to sing.
Ms. Mustang? Okay. Mr. Freeman?
I'm good.
Thank you.
Last week, our facility was used. It wasn't a Greater Clark County Schools activity, but Jeff I allowed the George Rogers Clark, is that what it's called, Tammy?
It was the showing of the big medicine.
Right.
With your-
But that organization.
Yes, yeah,
It was the big medicine, it was a showing, it was actually the premier showing of this,
Yes.
because it had been embargoed. And it was very interesting, and it was very inspirational. And I know that Tammy's husband was very instrumental in bringing that, and I was glad to attend, it was very good. It was about York. It was really good.
Good deal. I just have a brief statement to read. The Greater Clark County School Board of Trustees has completed the annual performance evaluation of Mark Loeffner. Mr. Loeffner's evaluation was based on an evaluation tool that was developed by Indiana State School Board Association and the Indiana Association of Public School Superintendents. The school was designed for consistency in the evaluation process of public school superintendents by school boards across the state of Indiana. Through the board evaluation process, Mr. Loeffner received a highly effective performance rating. Based on the term of Mr. Loeffner's contract, receipt of this highly effective performance rating entitles him to an additional 1 year of his existing contract without further board action. As such, Mr. Loeffner's contract is extended to June 30th, 2028. I'd like to congratulate Mr. Loeffner. It's a rigorous thing, and he's worked really hard as his cabinet, and assembling the teams and all those things that he's done. Now, I did say this earlier to Ms. Markowski, if I was called on to build the space shuttle, I would call her first and you second. But
Probably a good move after what I flew on last night.
yeah, but no, I just want to say congratulations. I'm sure the board might have a comment, even though we're out of order. Whatever you want to do. Does anybody have something something to say, Mr. Walker?
And more or less to you, what was with that pause there? You almost did the "you are not the father" type pause.
Jerry Springer
I
drama.
saw it on Steve Harvey, man. It worked for him.
No, I appreciate the support. I do think, we have a great team that works together really well, and we're getting a lot of good things done. We still have work to do, obviously, but we're doing a lot of great work across the district, and we'll see some of that on July 15th when we have the ribbon cutting for Pike Elementary. So make sure you're there. Starts at 4:45, and then everybody, community can walk through the school on July 15th for Pike, and then July 16th, we'll do the same thing up at Charlestown Elementary. So really excited to get those two open, and I do ask the community to bear with us a little bit on both those projects, because as people can see, we're just now knocking down the old schools. So all the parking lot and staging area for both those schools probably won't be done for another 4 or 5 months. So the first 4 or 5 months of school are going to be a little interesting in terms of getting people in and out, and all that. But by December, all that should be done and be a lot better situation for our parents. So, but thank you.
All right. Anyone else? Okay, I need a motion.
Move we adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We're done. Thank you all very much.